Hello travelers. We continue the theme of the cheapest tourist distances in Europe. Today we will talk about the natural pearl of the Adriatic Sea. We will discover Albania together. Most likely, you know little about this Balkan country. Although there are not many photos on Instagram, but the ones we saw are tempting to visit these places. Albania is a small country in southern Europe. It is a land of lakes, valleys, ancient Roman ruins, historic monasteries, charming villages and delicious food and wine. She has several neighbors: Montenegro, Kosovo, Northern Macedonia, and Greece. Its territory covers 28,748 square kilometers, which is approximately the territory of Belgium or Moldova. Only 3 million people live in the country. There are more Albanians now residing outside the country than within its territories. The estimated diaspora population of Albanians is between 7 and 10 million. Let's start with the most interesting facts about the country, and at the end, we will show the prices the tourist will meet in 2022. The country's capital is Tirana, Albania's largest city with 800,000 inhabitants. The official language of Albania is Albanian. The majority of Albanians are Muslim. Before Albania was the first atheist country in the world, it was one of only 3 countries in Europe with a Muslim majority, and it remains as such today. The European Muslim country list includes Albania, Kosovo, Bosnia, and Herzegovina, plus the transcontinental countries of Azerbaijan, often classified in Europe. The Ottoman Empire arrived in Albania in the 14th century. It brought Islam with them, spreading it to the country as well as other Caucasian countries like Azerbaijan, where they left a significant imprint. The coast of the Ionian Sea is also known as Albanian Riviera due to its pristine and beautiful beaches. Some of the least developed Rivieras in Europe. Suppose time in the sun is what you are after. In that case, Albania has some stunning beaches along its Riviera, which extends from Ksamil in the south to Vlora in the north and covers several towns of various sizes and lots of coastal territories. Albania has more than 300 sunny days a year and 430 kilometers of coastline, and seawater temperatures in summer are plus 25 degrees. Unlike the French Riviera, which is not only expensive but also very glamorous, the Albanian Riviera is no frills and very much do-it-yourself. Umbrellas and sun loungers occupy the gravel and sandy beaches, and the summer months see an avalanche of sun worshippers. The city of Sarand and Vlora, at both ends of the Albanian Riviera, are perhaps the most developed, with decent tourism infrastructure and cozy sleeping beaches outside the peak summer months. Come September, the beaches are empty and calm returns. Despite the coast being popular with locals and some tourists from neighboring Balkan countries, the rest of the world has not heard the term Albanian Riviera. Following fact, there are over 173,000 bunkers. These bunkers were built by the former dictator, Enver Hoxha, as defensive structures in case of invasion by enemy governments which, at that time, were pretty much any other country. Albanians do not call their country Albania. Instead, the name for the nation in the country's mother tongue is Shqipëri, which is often translated as the land of eagles. This is why you see eagles as a national symbol, even on the flag. However, some scholars have argued that the original word for eagle is spelled differently and that we cannot ascertain whether the word translates as such. There were only 7,000 cars in 1991. Under communist rule, private car ownership was banned, so only the highest-ranking government officials and some businesses could own a car. The rest used horse-drawn carriages and bicycles to get around. When the regime fell, car ownership became the ultimate status symbol and a sign of capitalism. Today, everyone owns a car. There is an enormous amount of Mercedes. Explanations talk about the historically bad roads after the regime's fall. Remember, there were about 7,000 cars only, which called for a reliable car. For some reason, the Mercedes became known as the indestructible car, ideally suited for the terrible roads and favored by locals to survive the Albanian road. The country's highest peak is shared with Macedonia. Mount Korab is on the border between Macedonia and Albania and is the highest peak in both countries. The mountain is 2,764 meters high but does not come out of nowhere. Albania's mountains cover 70% of the country, and as you drive towards the south, you will do so across mountain passes and valleys. Good roads, bad drivers. Good roads, bad drivers. The roads in Albania are pretty good, but the drivers are not. Roundabouts seem to be for guidance and are rarely respected. Instead, as you go into a roundabout, you will notice that traffic from the right will get in regardless of whether you are already there, forcing you to slow down. This happens 100% of the time, so it made us wonder what Albanians are told at driving school. Driving in Albania does require a lot of patience to be super concentrated to make sure you do not crash. People cut without signaling, traffic lights seem to be only a reference, which feels like the law of the jungle. We can't blame them. There were so few cars in 1991 that most driving was relatively new in Albania, and it developed well after the regime's fall. Albanians love their cheese. Albanians love their cheese, in particular, a type very similar to feta, which will be referred to as such, although the word feta can only be used to refer to the cheese produced in a specific region as it is a controlled appellation protected by EU rules. Cheese is pretty much the star of any dish in Albania. As opposed to other places in Europe like France or Spain, where cheese is sometimes served as a dessert, in Albania, cheese is mostly a starter eaten sliced with some olives and rarely as dessert. It is also eaten, cooked, baked, and mixed with other ingredients like peppers or tomatoes. Albania produces only 1 million bottles of wine a year. Did you know that Albania produces wine? Wine production is not mainstream, and it comes in small amounts. For a country of over 3 million people, only about 1 million bottles are produced, which is less than a bottle per Albanian of drinking age. You may wonder if Albanians drink less wine, and the answer is no, although the distilled wine brandy called rakia and beer are pretty popular too. They make up for the rest with imports from Italy. Ciro, an Albanian tradition. One of Albania's traditions is called Ciro. Albanians will leave their homes early in the evening and walk down the main road of wherever they live. This is an excellent chance to catch up with everyone. Sometimes the farmers will come and sell their products, or people will start little BBQs on the side of the street. This is one of the best facts about Albanian culture because it's unique to them. Before continuing our journey, please subscribe to the channel and like this video, that more and more people discover our extraordinary world. One like equals one more another view. Tourists are most fond of several major tourist destinations in Albania. The first and most famous is the Albanian Riviera. We've talked about it before. Of course, it is the most popular place in the country for tourists to visit. The Riviera has a growing reputation as an important music location, with many international music festivals, including Turtle Fest and Soundwave Albania, taking place here. Nightclubs such as Foli Marine and Jail Beach and Havana Beach Club near Dermi draw young people across Europe to the Albanian Riviera. Albania has lovely beaches along its Adriatic coast. The famous island of Corfu is very few kilometers away from it and can be seen on a clear day. The capital city of Albania, Tirana, will be the starting point for many people exploring the best places in Albania. The city is home to few must-see tourist locations, but the 18th century Ethem Bey Mosque is well worth a visit. Tirana's people, like the vast majority of Albanian locals, are exceptionally friendly, and the city is supremely affordable, with surprisingly excellent food and drinks, both very cheap. The Yogara Pass is one of Albania's most famous places, with the road providing one of the most spectacular drives in the whole world. Located in the middle of the Yogara National Park, the road travels to over 1,000 meters above sea level, and the scenery will take your breath away. At the top of the pass, there is a good range of restaurants, which are ideal places to enjoy some of the most stunning sights in Albania. Away from Albania's biggest cities, in the north of the country is Thith. Located high in the Albanian Alps, Thith is a designated area of outstanding natural beauty, and it is easy to see why. Thith National Park is perhaps the most beautiful place in Albania, with its Grunas waterfall and the Lock-In Tower both extremely popular with visitors. The mountain peaks of Thithi, Boga, Razma and Vermoshi provide an unforgettable experience of Albania in its most natural state. Hikers and nature lovers will find Thith one of the best places to visit during a trip to Albania. Berat is in the middle of Albania, and it is believed to be one of the country's oldest towns. Berat is often known by its nickname, the City of 1,000 Windows, due to its mix of Ottoman and Albanian architecture. Berat's leading tourist site is the 140th century castle, Kalaja, which is still home to hundreds of people. Formerly among the most important Albanian cities of the Ottoman Empire, Berat was added to the list of UNESCO World Heritage Sites in 2008. Saranda is one of the hottest tourism locations in Albania, with the town having undergone a massive amount of development in the last 20 years. Saranda is home to some of the most unforgettable beaches in Albania. At the same time, The UNESCO World Heritage Site at Butrën is located just outside Saranda and is well worth a visit. Ulkursi Castle is one of the best places in Saranda, with people flocking here to enjoy stunning sunsets. Saranda is located on a short trip across the Ionian Sea from the famous Greek island of Corfu. In the southwest of Albania is the popular coastal resort of Vlora, which has long been best known for its olive production. It is believed to house some 280,000 olive trees. Vlora has many important historical sites, but perhaps the most famous of them is the Albanian Independence Proclamation building, where Albania declared independence a little over 100 years ago. Today, a monument is dedicated to this defining moment in Albania's history. The area of cold water in Vlora is popular with younger tourists due to its choice of hip bars and restaurants. And now, when you have fallen in love with this country, let's talk about prices. Sure, they will please you. The average price for flights to the capital of Tirana start around €80. In season you can buy tickets for €150 in both directions. Attention, useful advice from us with tourism development. More and more low-cost carriers are adding Albania to their list of distances. Offering less popular airports, prices reach a fantastic minimum. That's why sometimes the prices drop to a ridiculous €15 for a one-way ticket. It will also be advantageous to rent a car, as the country is small. By car you can go around all the sites in a week. Cars on popular European sites will cost €30 daily. Prices also depend on the season. The most profitable if you travel with the company. Housing prices are about the same throughout the country. Often cheap options are apartments or guest houses. Their price ranges between €20 to €30 for a two-person, often with breakfast. If you prefer hotel holidays, prices will impress you. Regarding Albanian food, it needs a separate video. Guests are surprised not only by taste but also by quality. The country impresses with the taste and environmental friendliness of products. Here you can easily find organic vegetables and fruits. Albanian cuisine is full of taste, and portions are large and hearty. Prices in establishments start from €5 for the main course. Albania is the perfect choice if you want to immerse yourself in authentic cultures and untouched nature and meet friendly local people. This is the end of our journey. Remember that travel expands our worldview and makes us better.